Right. Well, here we are. And as you can see, as you are tuning in, we are live here with Laura Geller, who I've just spent the last few minutes chatting with. I feel like I just met a new best friend, which has been just wonderful. Welcome, Laura. I am
Thank you.
I'm connecting to the Facebook group so that people can ask questions and I can see them there. Sorry, let me just hit refresh here. There we go. Okay. And we should be live now. You're sitting in New York.
Yes, this is actually a small guest room that I have where behind me it's the set that I use for when I go on air on QVC. So everything's in place and it's easy for me to just press a button and be with you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you here. And little by little, people will be alerted that we're live. And actually, I'm going to type in there at everyone just very quickly to get everybody to join
Oh,
us.
good, good.
And there we go. And we'll start. So, it's really interesting that you said on QVC because I didn't know that you can now go live like on the Zoom with them as
Yeah.
opposed to flying down to the studio.
Well, QVC for me is a drive because it's in Pennsylvania. So it's about 2.5 hours from
Right.
Manhattan. So I don't fly there. But when COVID hit, we went to a Skype model. And
Yes.
that was obviously, I had been on air 23 years driving back and forth, and I drove. I'm a
Yes.
driver. But when that was one of the silver linings that did come out of the terrible pandemic.
Yes.
So they allow me to do a lot of my Skyping from home. And because I'm sort of a veteran and they sort of like let it go. But I do go there live too.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Well, let's just very quickly take a walk down memory lane and let's talk about how and when you got yourself interested in makeup. I mean, was this something as a teenager that you were into? And I understand that there's a collaboration in your soul between Broadway and makeup, and that's how a bit how that
Yeah.
began.
Yeah, no, I was in high school about to go off to college for secretarial studies. When I say that to people, they generally go, "What? Secretary?" Not something that was offered any
Shorthand.
time in the last, yeah. And I was doing it just by default because I didn't really know what I was supposed to do or be. And I ran into a classmate who was so super smart. I was always creative. She was very academic. And she said that she was going off to beauty school for hair design. She
Oh,
knew that I had an interest in the world of beauty. Just, it was fascinating to me, not because I was a heavy makeup wearer in high school, but she mentioned it to me and she said, "Come and talk to the owner of the beauty school before you go off to college." And she said, and see if there's interest. And when I went to meet him, he said, "You're going to be very successful." Now I'm
oh,
18, right? I'm 17 or
right,
18. And I said, "How do you know that?" And he said, "Because you have something that you need in our business, and it's the gift of gab." And I said,
right.
"Oh, okay." So he sold me, and I went right to beauty school because at that time, you needed a license, a cosmetology license. And I studied
To do
really,
makeup. You had to
no, I
have,
studied hair design,
oh,
but
you
you
did
needed
hair
a
first.
license. You needed a cosmetology license. So you would go to school for hair design, but you
Right.
didn't learn makeup.
No.
So I was sort of like, well, wait a minute now. I don't want to be a beauty school dropout. What do I do? I was living in a suburb outside Manhattan, and
Were you
he,
raised in Manhattan or were you raised on the island?
no, I was raised in Rockland County, which is a suburb of New York City, about 30 miles outside of New York City, not Long Island. A lot of people think because there's Valley Stream. I lived in Spring Valley,
Oh.
which is a town outside of New York, and he didn't know what to do, so he found a theater and film makeup course in Manhattan,
Hmm.
taught by the School of Visual Arts. And I went and I attended so naively, but I learned theater and film makeup, which is also not what I wanted, but I didn't know that there was another way to learn makeup. So I kept taking theater and film makeup classes and found myself working in TV, film, and theater at the beginning of my career. which
Uh-huh.
is not really what I set out to do. I mean, it's
Right.
always fun to talk about it, but it's not what I ended up doing. And it was, like I said, it was thankfully a big help because I learned the science of bone structure and I learned makeup in a way that most makeup artists don't learn. And it really set me on a path to be a better makeup artist too. So
Right.
that's really how it all began.
And then from there, what key milestones can you describe, like the pivotal moments that brought you into um, either, I guess it would be like, how old were you when you developed your own makeup line?
Yeah, so I was 37 when I launched my brand on QVC.
Oh my
But I
God.
had been doing private makeovers for women all through New York and the New York metropolitan area, from still keeping some of the high profile actresses and anchor women, but then I was doing these private customers and they would all say to me, well, okay, how do I buy what you're using? And I'd say, no, I don't sell it. I'm doing your makeup, but it's a compilation of many different brands, things
Love,
amassed in
right.
my makeup kit. And they all wanted to be able to recreate the look themselves.
Hmm.
So I would start to buy the products for them, drop it off at their doorman buildings, or leave it with my doorman, and they would come pick it up. And I realized, my goodness, there's a whole other business that I should be thinking about, which is developing my own product line because people seem interested and want to purchase it.
Right.
So I I started venturing into doing private label cosmetics, great cosmetics, but I didn't create them. I just sort of picked off a shelf, basically.
Right. They were being white labeled for those people that
Correct.
could put their name on it. And let me just interrupt just a moment because several people I can see they're joining,
Oh, good.
but they haven't typed yet. So I just want to
Yeah.
say to please type that you're here and so that we can see who you are because I can't see.
And we are also answering on our end
Oh, good.
questions that people may have.
Yes. Okay. Laura Geller Beauty is here and Frank is here. Hey, Frank, thanks for being here. So go ahead. So you were white labeling
Yeah,
product.
so I was doing it out of my apartment and people were coming. And then the next thing I knew, I was doing their children's weddings and
Yeah.
I became the makeup wedding authority in Manhattan. I mean, to this day, I run into people. I think just the other night I was at a woman's event and a woman came up to me and she said, you did my wedding 41 years ago.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
I remembered her too. And so I was so busy, and I was so happy. I mean, I was, able to afford to pay my own rent, but everybody started, I didn't have a business plan. I didn't go to business school. I didn't have a business plan. And QVC came along and I met the buyer from QVC at a conference of the Cosmetic Executive Women has this conference every year. And she came up to me and introduced herself. And she said, I've heard about you. You're getting lots of press. And I was like, okay. And she said, would you ever consider coming on QVC? And I thought I couldn't believe
You
my
must,
ears.
you were ready to drop dead.
I was literally ready to drop dead. And she came and we talked, and that's when everything changed.
I'll bet.
Because the quantities that they order provided the opportunity for me at that time to start my own line of cosmetics. And actually, it took me 5 years. So I launched on QVC in 97, but I didn't have the courage until 2002
Oh.
to have my own hour show, which they were wanting to give me because they saw the momentum was happening.
Mhm.
And so it was really 2002 when I really developed my own product line because I was able to really, change formulas and work with, chemists and labs and product developers. And
And was
QVC,
that science a whole new world for you? Like you were
yeah,
really talking science as opposed to art, right? But that's where art and science combine, right?
That's correct. That is correct. I mean, I couldn't have told you what I knew about sodium hyaluronate and hyaluronic acid and aloe vera. These were all things that were okay. All right, put that in. Go ahead. Why don't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
but
Okay.
I
If you say
learned.
so.
Yeah, if you say so, I'll do it. And now, when we develop products, I have a wonderful team, and through the years when we develop products, I really am spending time developing products for women. Really, we say over 40, but
Uh-huh.
my customer is really over 50, 60,
Hmm.
70, 80,
Hmm.
90, below and beyond. And we really work to create products that meet our customer where she is, what her skin needs are now.
My sister Heather just popped on and said, I love her products. Now,
Oh, Heather.
yeah, Heather, we're from Las Vegas. And if there is a woman in this country where makeup is a thing, it is the women of Las Vegas. Believe me, because just brief backstory about the culture of Las Vegas, right? So when I was growing up in the early 1950s here in Vegas, there were only 25,000 people that lived in the entire valley. Imagine 25,000 in my lifetime to 2.5 million. And we would go to the grocery stores at 4 or 5 o'clock, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I would go with my grandmother, and there were showgirls who had their makeup on, but they were running through the grocery store to get the groceries to bring the groceries home to either their babysitters or their mothers. Many of the grandmothers all moved to town with these showgirls to take care of the kids or the husbands, but probably not back in the 50s. And and then our mothers, the rest of the women that lived in this town were basically cocktail waitresses. And so the whole makeup thing for Las Vegas, in fact, I just shared with you that I was at this retreat in Santa Fe, New Mexico with people from all over the country. I mean, I'm the only one wearing makeup in this whole, in the whole joint, but I wasn't going to not be me, right? Like makeup is my thing, has always been my thing. Makeup,
Same,
clothes.
same.
Yeah.
It's transformative.
It's
I mean,
transformative.
and it just, I always, people say if you feel good on the inside, you look good on the outside. And sometimes if you look good on the outside, you feel good on the inside, is what
Yeah,
I say.
it's a combination. It really is. The
Yeah.
two need to meet. The two need to meet,
Yes.
right?
Yes. a
Within.
hundred percent.
So let me ask you this. Give me just one big challenge that you overcame at any point in your career, in your history. And I ask this question because no matter what age you are, when you start something new, you're going to find that you have challenges. It's not a straight line trajectory to success. And anybody who may be watching right now might be afraid to start because they might run into this or might run into that. And I say, trust me, you're going to. You're going to run into this
Yes.
or that, but you'll overcome it like the rest of us have. And that is where your wisdom begins. So, do you mind sharing anything that you can
Oh,
think of?
no, no. There's so many things, but I think to your point, I think the beauty of learning how to manage the hurdles and the roadblocks that come along the way and conquering them,
Mm-hmm.
is what makes the successes, those moments where you have an opportunity to be on a Facebook Live with someone of your caliber. Like literally, you know, 20, 30 years ago, people weren't asking me to be a guest. I think the beauty of it is that you have a better appreciation going through that. I think no matter what anybody's thinking, whether it's money producing or not, it could be just a passion project, it could be volunteering. My thing is always to find that inner voice that speaks to you about what you love, because I loved makeup. I was one of the fortunate few, probably, if we took a poll of people who got to do what they love. So I was able to deal with the crises that came along, and there were many. And one of the biggest was that I didn't know business. And
Oh,
so I entrusted my business to people that I thought I could trust. And I
yeah,
wasn't minding the business. I was
right.
so busy you know, growing and building this business and waiting on my customers, and I was all over the place, all over the place. And, I had people that I thought I vetted properly, and I wasn't able to check on them. I didn't understand,
What even to
what
check in? You don't even know what to
to
check
check.
on. Yeah,
No.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
so I was met with people robbing from me,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know, um, I lost my shirt a couple times, and, but I think having the will to stick with it because you love whatever it is you're doing
Hmm.
and coming through the other side is what gives you the wisdom
Hmm.
and gives you the will to go on. And I also think at this stage in our lives, and we're speaking to the midlife era women, um,
Or
right?
the long
The
life
long
era
life
women.
era, the
Right.
long life era
50 and
woman. I
above.
meant to say that. I meant to
Yeah,
say
it's
that.
okay.
I think one of the things that I am so grateful for at this stage of my life is that you have so much more self-confidence and
Hmm.
you're less afraid to take risks. And I wish I could talk to my 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old self and say, oh my God, don't sweat the small stuff. You'll be fine when you're XYZ.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's the beauty of getting to where we're at. And I think this is the time you can do whatever it is you want to do.
Hmm. And and they
Anything.
and they can. I mean, you could reinvent yourself at any age, at any age.
Yeah.
So just back to the business, and I really want to dive into the makeup, right? Because I've got it all right here in front of me. I want to talk about my two like totally favorite products that changed my life. I kid you not, Laura. I could hardly wait to tell you this, and I'm being so sincere when I tell you this.
Oh, I want to hear.
But just, running a business is at this stage of life. Do you like how do you balance your energy, your creativity, your demands of your leadership, your family? It's a lot. I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, of course you do. My goodness, you do. I think, listen, I'm at a different place right now with my career.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've sold my business.
I am
And
aware.
so, okay, so I have owners that are amazing and respect me and have brought in teams, marketing teams, digital teams. I could have never had the knowledge of hiring properly like that. And
Hmm.
those are the people and the teams that have leaned into who I am. And that's also the difference because it didn't start out that way. These are
Yeah.
not the original owners. And so, the original owners didn't lean into my demographic, which was an older demographic. They didn't lean
Hmm.
into appreciating who I was as I aged. And it was so frustrating for me. I was like, wait a minute, I'm the founder of this brand. You bought it because you know the historics and you know the heritage. Why wouldn't you want to listen to what I have to say and utilize me? Why? And this is a very different time for me now. It's wonderful.
Well, I have an answer to that. And I think you are so courageous in doing this. And maybe one of the answers to that was we have an anti-aging society here in America. And I always say nobody wants to admit that they're growing old, but does anybody really want to die young? No. And,
Nope.
looking like a Kardashian, forgive me, but, that's just a metaphor for, that look. Like, that's not the only alternative. But we
Mm-mm.
are growing older and we are wanting to respect ourselves. We are wanting to be respected. We have wisdom to share. And when they say, your old owners say to you, you're out of touch, you're starting to get older, maybe this product isn't going to do well anymore, or whatever it is they might have said. I mean, you like me, you're like, you know what? I'll show you, probably, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, I wish everybody well, and I'm friends with all of them, but I think they see.
Yeah, of
I
course.
think they see. And I think that's the beauty of um, now seeing how people are leaning into who we are as a brand, who I am, and I am the voice of the brand.
You
And,
are.
I think that is the magic that is happening that I never would have predicted at 66 years old, that we'd be such a force to be reckoned with as a brand speaking to an older demographic.
It's
And I'm
beautiful.
so proud of it, so proud of it.
I'm proud of you. And I'm proud
Thank
that you're
you.
here. So, shall we
Thank
talk
you.
makeup? Because I'm very cognizant of the time. I know you're on a very tight schedule and we really only
It's
have
okay.
12 minutes left. So, if you want
What
to,
changed your life?
what? Oh, what changed
What
my
changed
life?
your life?
Okay, so I know you can't see. I suppose I could lean in and just,
I
have you look at
see.
my
You look
eyes.
lovely.
But I will tell you that I always mark my waterline. I'm a big waterline. My eyes look naked unless I do the waterline. And this is the Kajal
Mm,
Longwear eyeliner tracer, right? And what I love about this, let me just hold this up to the camera, and I know it's kind of going away. There we go. But this is a wide pencil. Now,
hmm
prior to you guys sending me this to try, I used another brand, one that you can only find at Neiman Marcus because you think maybe that's the best. And it's a thin pencil. It's more like the
Yeah, typical eyeliner pencils.
yes. And what would happen is that as I was going in and lining the water line, is that occasionally I would poke my eye, right? I
Interesting.
and it would hurt the whites of my eyes, or if it touched, it hurt because it was the point. And you
Right,
really have to get down to the point in order to get in there. But this, because it's wide, you don't even have to have a point. It kind of the edge points, and if I touch my eye, it's like a no big deal.
right.
Okay, so that's function. That's function. But let's talk about wear. I mean, it's called long wear, and it long wears. Like it doesn't, the water line doesn't rinse it off. And beyond that, when it comes time to take it off at the end of the day, it just comes off.
Yeah,
I
which is
don't,
remarkable in and of
yes,
itself because it is so long wearing.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Okay.
you are very wise because that pencil has received awards. By the way, did you know there was a sharpener at the other side?
I did not. Let me
I know
look.
most people don't.
Oh, very
So it,
nice. Okay.
yeah. So
Very
if you
nice.
wanted to restore that point after using it a few times, you could.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. And why is it called Kajal? What does the name Kajal mean?
Yeah. Kajal is richest formula, deepest pigmented formula, so that you need very little to get the payoff of the color.
Well, that's for
Sometimes you have to
damn
take the
sure.
pencil and go over
Yes.
and over till you see it
No.
laying
Yeah.
down. It's like I
Yeah.
always say, it's one swipe to wonderful. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it is. It's fantastic. Okay, here we go. Let's see if anybody else is here. Sometimes I have to refresh to see, and
Yeah,
I
no,
can't really
good.
see, but okay. All right. And so this, when I put this mascara on, I'm telling you, Laura,
I know.
it's the brush. I mean, aside
I
from whatever the
know.
formula is, but I have never, I mean, I can buy Chanel, I can buy,
You're
you know,
right.
I can buy any kind of mascara, but my lashes don't stay separated. They clump together. Ultimately, that makes them look shorter. Ultimately, you look like you don't know how to do makeup, but it's the mascara. I have never, and I mean this so sincerely to anybody that is listening to this, I've never used a mascara that
Wow.
consistently has separated my lashes and lengthens them. Like all mascaras say, thicken and lengthen. I really have
Mhm.
not found one that does that. And this
Yeah.
is truly, I need to buy
I hear
I need
you.
to buy a case of it at one time because, I don't ever want to run out.
I
Cynthia
know.
Cynthia Berman is here and she says I was excited to try the Bake Foundation. Oh, but she said it didn't work for her. But maybe we can
Oh,
offer.
I'm sorry,
I should have read the
Cynthia.
whole thing a
We
little
have
more.
other formulas. We have other formulas that
Yeah.
aren't baked. that
Yeah.
might be better for Cynthia.
Right. But Cynthia, you will I mean, I'm telling you, this mascara and this eyeliner is incredible. Now,
Yeah.
here is one thing that I struggled with, and I brought it along because I thought maybe you could give me instruction. So I don't know. I'm sorry, because we're in a little bit of a blue screen here, green screen, is I don't know how to apply this dabbing serum blush.
Right. Okay. So the serum blushers are for somebody, two things.
Mhm.
You would take a dot and a dot on your apple of your cheek, just right here,
Okay, I'll do
and then
that.
you just blend it with your fingers, or you could use a foundation brush if you had one that you would like,
And you
and
just do one dot.
you could build it if you want more color. The
Okay.
idea behind the serum blushers are they're super hydrating. They're meant for women who want just a wash of color and not that lay down of a powder blush. But
Gotcha.
they're also great for women who eat their blush. If you are somebody that your blush fades, like
Hmm.
you put it on and you look great, but a couple hours later, you look in the mirror and you're like, why am I void of color? I
Hmm.
have people put the serum on blush on first and then take a powder, whatever powder blush
Oh,
they
right
love,
over it. I did do that.
over it.
I did
And they
that.
marry each other beautifully. And
Hmm.
that serum blush is great for women who don't want to wear foundation. Maybe they just want to use an SPF. It's
Yeah.
sheer and soft.
Yeah. And I have a skin tone that sucks all the pigment out of color. So I have to use really, really deep, vibrant colors. You can tell by my lipstick. And by the way, I love your lipstick color. What color is
Oh,
that?
that's a jelly bomb, and it's called In the Buff.
In the buff.
And
Okay.
we have these jelly bombs, very hydrating
Hmm.
lipsticks that, yeah, no, and your color's gorgeous too. I love what you're wearing.
Well, it's yours.
The
I'm fully.
lipstick.
Oh, my lipstick. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's this hot pink. You want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Share.
I mean, believe it or well, it's a combination. It's like three different colors mixed,
Oh,
and
okay.
and two
You're
different
a mixer.
line. Well, I have to be because the color by itself doesn't work. So I have to find, I have to go way off the end of a bright hot pink, which
Yeah, yeah,
looks
yeah, yeah.
hideous if it's by itself, especially because it's a long wear or a no
Oh,
stick or yeah.
mm,
And
yeah.
then, oh, I love that your company's putting all the links of
Links.
everything. That's
Yes, I knew
great.
they would.
And they will live here for forever. So that's wonderful.
Oh, that's
Um,
great.
and then two different lip liners and a color called 165 by L'Oreal in the grocery store. That
Nothing
if
wrong
you
with that.
but if you put it on by itself, it looks like pink paste. It looks, it's horrible. But the two or three of them all together, it works for me. Okay, so I love the double take baked, the powder. I love
Yeah,
this. This is
that's what I'm
great.
wearing
And I'll
today.
tell you what else I like. I'm going to tell you this is genius. The fact that I can open my makeup drawer and see through and see what it is, right? Because
Very important.
I love this. I love
I
that
know.
I can look and see what color it is. I don't have to open it and go, oh no, that is the one I wanted, and
Yeah,
put it back. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There were a lot of just genius things that I completely liked. And this is the baked highlighter, which I also love. I brought up the boxes. I don't know why I didn't bring the actual
It's
things
called French
inside.
Vanilla Highlighter. It is award winning and it has no shimmer. It's just like a low glow. So
Uh-huh.
you put it, on the top of the cheekbone or under the brow, or
Yes.
you can set your concealer with it because it's baked, so it's very hydrating. But you can use it as a shadow. There's a million uses
You
for
can
it.
use it
It's
as a shadow.
amazing
You can use
for
it as a
sure.
shadow. Yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
And tell me, I don't believe that I received a bronzer. So tell me about your bronzers. Is the double take
So
baked? Is that a bronzer or no?
no, that's foundation. That's
That's
foundation
that's
that
this one,
has
right?
more coverage. That's
Yeah,
correct.
that's
We
this.
have
Okay.
Balance and Brighten, which is a more natural coverage. And Double Take Baked is for somebody who wants to put one swipe on and get coverage. I wear double take because I have a lot of brown spots from not protecting my skin back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, we didn't
But
know.
we have a bronzer called Bronze and Brighten, which is comes in like fair, medium, and deep. That's all. And I would put you in the medium, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And it has six different pigments in it, and you brush it on, and you get this warmth of color without looking orangey. It's
And tell me what the
amazing.
name of that is again. I'm going to write it down.
It's
What is it?
called Bronze and Brighten. Bronze and
Bronze and
Brighten.
Brighten. Okay.
And the medium color, and you need very little and a big loose kind of brush, not a dense brush, not a
Yeah,
brush with tight hairs.
I've got it.
Um, Put it on
Yeah.
top of your foundation or wear it in lieu of foundation because it has
Oh,
coverage.
yo, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, we've got about 3 minutes. I don't know if you got an extra five to just,
I do.
do you?
For
Yeah.
you, absolutely.
Oh God, that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. Well, what is your favorite product then? Let's not
Oh,
leave the makeup genre
I
yet.
I know, right? They're all my favorites. But I think you spoke to two of my favorites right at the top, which was that Kajal eyeliner.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, for anybody that doesn't have a steady hand,
Uh-huh.
and really when they put on the line, it doesn't look precise and clean. Those Kajals were intended, you would think a thicker liner would be
Hmm.
just the opposite because you'd say, well, that's too thick. But the truth is it makes such a statement in one swipe.
Uh-huh.
And whether you do it on the outside or the inside like you do,
Inside. Yeah.
and it's great for people who their liner fades quickly. These liners don't disappear. They don't.
No, never.
No,
All day long. Even crying in the retreat I was in, it didn't disappear.
they don't come off. They
No.
just don't come off. It's incredible.
Okay, let's
What
talk
color
about
is that?
that's bronze and it's the
Yeah, you can.
Kajal. So tell me, teach me, how would I wear this color? What do I do with this?
So that particular color, I love. A lot of women will use a dark color across the top of their eyes and the same thing on the under their lower lash, not on the inside, under their lower lash.
Yes, under.
Finding the right color to use under your lower lash is, I think, the most daunting thing. You're supposed to be softer, and that color makes the most gorgeous under eye liner. Under eye.
Really?
And
Really?
a
Yeah?
shadow. And a shadow. So one of the tricks I learned from one of my models on QVC that
Uh-huh.
demonstrates when I'm on air, she takes an eyeshadow brush and she
Okay.
wipes the formula onto an eyeshadow brush because it's the formula that's so magical. And she uses certain pencils as eyeshadow, either across the lid or the outer corner and crease, because
Hmm.
once these go on, they don't move. You can cry, you can have watery eyes, you can wear contacts, warm climates, do hot yoga. It doesn't move. So you can use a brush and any size brush. You may want to use a precise liner brush and do a
Hmm.
very tight line across the top of your eye with that color.
Hmm.
But it's the formula that is so unique. So you can use brushes with it.
And that's good to know. Oh, and it's also good to know that this also has the
A
sharpener on the
sharpener.
bottom.
We've got to
Thank you.
get better at writing. I'm working very closely with that PD team to do certain things that are going to help women with unsteady hands or a sleight of eye, if they don't
Right.
see as well. So I know those things are important.
Well, where I was over the for 5 days, they didn't have a 10 times magnifying mirror. They had no magnifying mirror, and I didn't bring one with me, just not
Oh my
thinking.
gosh.
I know I wanted to kill
There's
myself.
always Amazon. You could have ordered from Amazon.
No, where we were, because I was going to do that, but it took 5 days to get it. It was
Oh,
out
no,
in the
no, no.
middle of
Oh,
Santa Fe, New Mexico, and really not even in Santa Fe. I was on a
oh,
2,600-acre ranch. So yeah, I kind of lost I literally climbed into the sink and sat.
oh my goodness. I know what that's like. And that's one of my recommendations for anybody listening right now. If you have, issues seeing, which most of us do after a certain age, I use a 10-time magnification and then I check it in the one time when I'm done. But I always say if you can do a great job, because it shows everything. And a lot of
Hmm.
women don't want to look in 10 times because they're like, oh, but if your makeup looks good in 10 times, you're going to look great in bright
Yeah.
sunlight or wherever you
Yeah.
go.
Right.
So don't
Right.
fight it, lean into it and use it.
Lean into it. And you find little hairs you need to pluck if you're in the 10 times. If you're in a one times, you're never going to find them, ladies.
No,
Ladies. That's,
it's really true.
you don't have to, because otherwise it's a daughter or a best friend. You say, if you ever see one of those hairs,
You know,
please tell me.
I was
It's
walking down the
horrible.
street the other day and I ran into a neighbor from my apartment building. And we were in bright sunlight, although it's so cold. And I could not believe what I saw. I had never noticed it before when we passed each other in the building. She had so much hair. And
Oh,
I thought, nobody is telling this woman that it's so easy. Even just use a razor. You don't have to go and get it professionally removed. I mean, or a dermaflash or whatever it is. But
yeah. They
I
sell
was
them on
so,
Amazon also, but I find
yes.
that Tweezers does good. I just want to tell you that Berta Phillips was here,
Oh,
um, and I don't know if you know her, and
I know the name. It's familiar.
she's having a conversation with Cynthia, for which I just can't follow. But
Okay.
anyway, I
Right,
think they're
right.
talking about I'm not sure what.
Okay. I think our team is going to probably step in and
Okay,
help
all right, good.
where if there's
Um,
any questions pertaining to me or usage
yeah.
or product.
Okay. All right. And so let me ask you this. Do you use this also for eyebrows?
No, because I don't really have a color that's great for brow yet.
Okay.
Um, in those kajals. I mean, I have to tell you, I've been told by some of our customers that by accident they used it and they discovered they liked it. If the
Hmm.
color works for your
Hmm.
eyebrow, you absolutely can.
So do you feel on some level that you should use that your eyebrows should be a lighter color than like your mascara, as an example? Or how do you decide what color brows should be?
Well, I always feel that, sometimes I look at women and all I see is their brow. That means it's too dark. It's dominating their face. So I would probably venture to say that you should be in the same realm as whatever hair color you're wearing. So for my silver-haired foxes, you should be in a taupey color.
Hmm.
That's always going to work for you. For anybody with even light brown, taupe is good. But if you're medium brown, golden medium, you should be in a medium brown. And then if you
And
have dark
match.
brown and black, you should
Hmm.
match.
Okay.
Um,
The
or be a little
hair,
lighter.
the
Yes, the
hair,
hair
the
on your,
hair.
yes.
Not
Hmm.
necessarily how the color, because I wear
Not
black
what
on
your
my
color
eyes.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Okay.
yeah.
So let me ask you this. What advice would you give to anybody who, and I find this a lot, Laura, is they worked 35 or 40 years and they hated it, you know,
Yeah.
which is heartbreaking. But at the same time, they had beautiful families, and it was more important to them to not take a risk with we can all understand that. But
100%.
they're retired now. And what advice would you say to someone about, when and how to go ahead and your time is shorter than it was. I mean, none of us know when we're going to go. As I say, my birth father died in a violent plane accident at the age of 31.
Oh
So
my gosh.
it's okay. It was 60 years ago,
I
but
know, but that's tragic.
it
Sorry,
was.
that's
It
just
was very
tragic.
tragic. It has been, but I would just say, he didn't get to live his life, and yet at 50 or 60 or 70, you could have between 50 and 30 years left to go. And so, if you haven't lived your heart's desire yet, what advice would you give to somebody about stepping into their soul's desire?
You know, I spent my whole life from 18 until the last probably 7 to 10 years working and raising my child. I'm a single mom by choice, and juggling and all that. And it wasn't until 7 years ago or so that I said, I love what I do, and don't see it as work, even though there are days that it's work. So for me, I was lucky, but what other passions do I have? And I knew what it was for me, which was travel. And while I did a little bit here or there, generally around work, I decided, you know what? I'm not getting any younger, and I know what's ahead of me.
Hmm.
And I may not have the stamina or, as I said to my two friends when we got up from dinner last night after sitting for so long, I was like, okay, what's hurting as you stand up? I said, it's my left knee. And somebody went, my right hip. And,
Yeah.
we were laughing. And it's travel. So I decided I'm going to start traveling. And whatever that travel looks like for you, it could be local, it could be far, whatever it is. I think you just have to think about the things, not what you missed out on. You can't rear view. You got to live in this moment
Right.
today.
Yeah.
And what is it that you feel you missed out on? And maybe take that course. Maybe, whatever it is, whether it's starting a business,
Start
you will
painting.
be, yeah,
Start
start
painting.
painting. You're always going to be met with those people who are ageist. I mean, I hate to say it.
Yeah,
And it's out there, it exists.
it exists.
Um, but you just keep moving forward and doing whatever it is. There's a woman that I met through QVC, Babs. Oh, what's Grandma Babs? I'm saying it the wrong way. She is
Well,
during the
my sister
pandemic.
is she's a big QVC person. So Heather, if you know what she's trying, name
She's
the name.
not on QVC,
Oh,
but
she's
she
not.
is a QVC ambassador like I am.
Oh, I
And
gotcha.
she's in
Okay.
her 70s. And during the pandemic, her granddaughter or her daughter asked her to start, she was just a good homemaker and brunch
Oh,
with Babs. She has on Instagram 3.8 million followers.
oh my God.
She is just a mom, a grandmom, um, and could be a great grandma for all I know, and found this new calling during the pandemic, just talking about what she did great at home,
Hmm.
whether it was cooking, whether it was cleaning hacks. And she amassed almost 4 million followers on
That's
Instagram alone. And she's
amazing.
a regular gal. She's not a celebrity. She doesn't see herself like that, but she is living her best life just doing what she loved.
Isn't that amazing? And that's a really big step for somebody that I'm guessing she's in her late 70s, perhaps,
Yeah.
if she's a great
Yeah.
grandmother, who somehow said, I like this Instagram thing. I'm going to take a step into it. That's pretty risky, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, her daughter, or it was her granddaughter, I can't remember, helped her,
Yeah, of course.
obviously.
Somebody had to.
But I mean, even there's Excuse My Grandma.
Yeah,
I
I've seen them.
Grandma Gail and Kim.
Yeah, yeah.
And they spent time together and they became
So
Grandma Gail
cute.
became a thing.
A thing.
So it's not an age thing, it's what you're passionate about, because what you're passionate about means you'll do well at whatever it is if you're
Exactly.
passionate about it.
Exactly, and that's great advice. And Laura Geller Beauty just noted that as of today, you are in Ulta. Yes?
Yes. Well, we're
Congratulations. Online,
online,
Ulta online. Okay.
ulta.com.
Ulta.com.
We were in stores for many years, but it was very challenging to maintain being in stores. So
Hmm.
I know there are many people that want to go to stores to see our line, but
Hmm.
at this time, we spend a lot of care on the laurageller.com website. If people wanted to not know how to pick their shade of foundation, we have a
Hmm.
shade finder. We will give you advice. It's not the same experience, but it's a heck of a lot easier because if we were in store, our prices would have to be like this.
Yes. And I do want to say this, Laura, because, as you already know about me, I've spent a lot of time at the makeup counter, right? And I walk away sometimes being sold and upsold and upsold. I'll walk away with several $100s worth
Oh,
of makeup that I never really liked, but somehow in some way I got
at
sold
that
in.
moment,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm an easy sale. But so I find that looking at it online and the shade checker, is that what you called it? The
Shade Finder. It
shade
exists
finder.
on our website. I can't tell you where, but maybe we can put the link in. so that anybody who's interested in wanting to try any of our
Okay. That
foundations,
would be great.
we will put the link. I've been trying to tell my team that it should be on the landing page, the home page, so people can click right onto it, but it's a little hard to find. It's buried, but we'll put the link for you.
Okay, that's really great. Thank you. Is it
Yeah.
Julie that's running the Laura Geller
No, I
Beauty?
don't think Julie's doing it. I think Aileen is doing it today.
Okay, all right. Also, the bronzer that I would love the link in there for
We
as
will put
well.
the link for Bronze and Brighton. And I will tell you, if you're not on laurageller.com or if you haven't signed up, you should, because we compete with all our other retailers, which means you will get the best pricing on
Yes,
laurageller.com. Really, you will.
yes. I mean, why
Yeah.
would we go to any other website? Truthfully,
Well,
why?
people like to shop on Amazon. People get loyalty rewards on Ulta.
Oh,
There's
I
many
see.
reasons.
Yeah,
QVC offers bundles, truthfully, that maybe we won't compete with because they
yes.
order, super sizes and things like that. There's a reason for being for all these different
Hmm.
places, but we keep you abreast of the latest news. And sometimes we're in your face a little too much, but you could just ignore it. I mean, we send emails
Yeah.
out
No, it's
regularly.
great. It's great. My husband's in the political business,
Oh,
um, and uh, and when we all had our home phones connected, of course, it's with the text messages on the phones. I mean, we want to kill everybody, right? Right? It's
don't
just
kill me, because if you sign up for I was on a
no, but what
retreat.
I want to say
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
that what my I used to say to him when the home phone would ring during a presidential or the midterms or whatever, and I'd say, oh my God, when is this going to
Don't
stop?
they know? Yeah.
Yeah, don't they know? And this is what he always says is that what happens when they complain that you're reaching out to them too much? The answer to that is do it more because they're noting it. They're seeing it. And
It's a
it's the
good
same
point.
with TV commercials, right? Oh my God, the My Pillow guy. How much do we have to watch that guy? But you know what? His attitude was, they're seeing me. I'm going to do it more. And,
It's a good point.
yeah,
A good
so it's
point.
not bad. And by the
Yeah.
way, if that newsletter got you an extra 5 sales that week that you weren't going to get, or an extra 500 sales, I don't know what the quantity numbers are. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, you make a very good point.
do
And
it
and for
more.
us, it's more letting you know about inside scoop or sales or
Yeah,
something that's trending.
yeah.
So, you don't have to open it, but you should, because you'll probably find something really great.
Well, I'll tell you, if the only thing you find is these two, you will not be unhappy that you opened it up. Believe me, I will
Couldn't
forever
agree
be
more.
grateful for these little
Thank you,
tools and
Marla. That
so
means the
many other
world to
things.
me.
I'm going to really dive in or lean into how to use this now that you explained it, and I
Well, now
appreciate
you
it.
have a personal connection, so I'd be happy to answer any of your or Heather's makeup questions
Oh,
anytime.
she will love that. She will love that. Thank you so much. I'm going to
My
let you go,
pleasure.
Laura. I know you have places to be right after this, but from the bottom of my heart, I
Oh my
truly want
gosh.
to thank you for taking the time. And you saw the video of the women who said, "I hope you say yes." Right? You saw
Yes,
that
I
video?
love that so much. That
Yeah.
really touched my heart, and it was very persuasive. So thank you.
Well, you're very, very welcome. Thank you from the deepest part of my heart. And thank you to all of you who came today and who will be watching this as it stays forever live or forever posted into the Facebook group. It means the world to me that Laura took the time to come. And Laura, if you'll stand by, what I'm going to do is just disconnect us from the group, the live group. So let's hold on for just a minute.